All right, it's our last set. You know, again, I look at this and I say, left side looks pretty simplified already, so let's focus our attention on the right side. There are a lot of ways you could go with this. Some of you may try changing everything into sine and cosine right off the bat and then moving on from there. I personally notice parentheses and I like to multiply first. That's just my preference. It's my style. So I'm going to do that first. Now, you could have done this another way, so just keep that in mind. But what I get here is tangent of theta times cotangent of theta minus tangent of theta times cosine. Okay, if you remember early on, we talked about multiplying reciprocals, right? Multiplying reciprocals, like 2/3 and 3/2. When you multiply those, you get 1. When I multiply reciprocals, I will always get 1. I recognize that tangent and cotangent are reciprocals, and I'm multiplying them. So I know that this is just going to be 1. That's nice because it saves me a little bit of time. So I have 1, and then minus tangent of theta times cosine of theta. Now is when I would probably think, well, on the left side I only have sine and cosines, just sine actually. On the right side I've got that tangent. Let's go ahead and rewrite the tangent in terms of sine and cosine. So I have 1 minus, so it'll be sine of theta over cosine of theta times cosine of theta over 1. And look at that, I've got a giant 1, which is exactly what I want. So now I have 1 minus sine of theta on the left, and look at that, 1 minus sine of theta on the right. Okay, this one's a lot of fun, but it does require a lot of algebra. And you're going to find you probably need to switch sides at some point in the process. So the first thing I'm going to recognize is that sine of theta minus cosine of theta squared, probably need to multiply that out. Now, I'm not going to show that. I hope that by now you guys can do that. Remember, it's saying that you multiply that thing times itself. So that's the key to this. Now I'm going to run out of room again, so I'm just going to draw the arrow. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of compare or look at what I have and think about, you know, is there anything that I can do? I recognize whenever I see squares, especially sine squareds and cosine squareds, look, I know if I write those two things next to each other. So let me just rearrange terms a little bit here. I'm just going to bring that cosine squared up next to the sine squared because... And you don't have to do this step. You could have done what I'm about to do without rewriting it. I recognize that this guy is just 1. Okay, so now what I've got is 1 minus 2 sine of theta cosine of theta plus 2 sine of theta minus cosine of theta. Okay, now some of you... If you're curious about how you could continue working on the right or on the left-hand side and not move to the left-hand side, come ask me and we can go over that. But what I want to look at next is, you know, I'm on this left side and I'm just not seeing how I can get the left side to look like the right side. So I'm going to pause work on the left side. I'm going to move to the right side. And on the right side, I recognize that I can actually multiply that out. So I'm going to do that. I will have, let me rewrite this side here. So on the right side, I'll have 1 times 1, 1 times negative cosine, 2 sine times 1, and then negative 2 sine times cosine. Okay, so here I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm just going to start comparing my sides to figure out where I need to go next. So I see this one, I see this one, that's good. Negative 2 sine cosine, look, I have that as well already. Plus 2 sine, oh, I've got that. And then minus cosine, I've got that as well. I actually have that expression already done. Like I've proven that it's true. I'm actually done and may not have even realized it. All right, last problem. This one looked like it was going to be really bad, but it was actually pretty quick. Use your cosine sum and difference identities to help expand these. So cosine of x plus y is going to be cosine of x times cosine of y minus sine of x times sine of y. Now pay attention, this is plus here, right? It's not multiplying. And then next I'm going to do cosine of x minus y. So that's going to be cosine of x times cosine of y plus sine of x times sine of y. All right, and what we're trying to get is 2 times cosine of x cosine of y. So because I'm adding, I need to look for like terms. All right, when I start looking for like terms, let's see, I've got cosine of x cosine of y, plus cosine of x cosine of y. So that's going to be 2 cosine x cosine y, which is nice because that's what I have on the other side. And then I have, so negative, negative sine of x sine of y plus sine of x sine of y. Well, that's 0. So look, I got it in one step. Just had to recognize that you could add like terms together.